Hello, my name is Sean Yarns. I'm with the Integrated Breeding Platform, and today I'm going to be demonstrating how to download and install our breeding management system software. Before downloading the BMS, you need to first consider the system requirements. The BMS is a large program, so you want to make sure that your computer meets the minimum system requirements. The BMS will be prohibitively slow or possibly inoperable on older computers and notebook computers that do not meet the requirements. The breeding management system is compatible with Windows operating systems. You need to have Windows XP or newer installed on your computer. You also need to have at least a 1 gigahertz processor, 2 gigabytes of RAM, and a 250 gigabyte hard disk. The more RAM and larger your hard disk, the better the BMS will perform. To check the system requirements, I'm going to go to Windows Explorer, and I'm going to begin by going to the Control Panel and look up information on my system. So what you can tell about my computer is I'm running Windows 7 Home Premium, I have a 2.5 gigahertz processor, and I have 4 gigabytes of installed memory. Now, to check the size of my hard disk, I'll look for the information specifically about my computer. And you can see I have a slightly unusual hard disk configuration in that I've partitioned my hard disk into 2 drives. However, the combined size of the 2 drives is about 300 gigabytes. So what I can tell after looking at my system configuration is that I meet or exceed the minimum system requirement, so I'm comfortable downloading the breeding management system. The fastest way to access the breeding management system download is to download the installer from our website, www.integratedbreeding.net. However, if you have poor internet connectivity, you can request a DVD copy of the breeding management system by emailing us at ibp@cgiar.org. There are numerous places on our website where you can download the breeding management system. To access the download from the homepage, just click Get Started with the BMS. This takes you to the breeding management system informational page, and you can see there's a download button right here. In order to download the installer, you need to log in with your iPlant username and password. If you don't have a username and password, follow this link to iPlant Collaborative and establish your account. I already have one, so I'll go ahead and enter that here. Once logged in, the BMS application is available for me to download. This is an executable file that I can save anywhere on my computer that will guide me through the download process. By default, my browser is going to choose to put it in the downloads folder. Now that we've obtained the installer file from the web, we're ready to install the breeding management system components. So once the breeding management installer is on my computer, I can just click it and run it. I'll select English as my language. I'm going to select Yes to allow this to make changes to my computer. Select Next. I will also accept the licensing agreement. I'm going to leave the destination directory under the default settings, going to the C drive. And it's giving me a notification that this breeding management file already exists on the C drive, and that's because I've previously installed the breeding management system, and so that file already exists. But yes, I would like to install it to that directory anyway. The infrastructure and the BMS applications are selected to be installed by default, but you have to choose which crop databases you're interested in. I'm going to select the CalP Central database. At any time after you've completely installed the breeding management system, you can come back, deselect the infrastructure and applications, and just add new crop databases as needed. I'm going to have it create a desktop icon. I also want to be able to visualize my genotype files as flapjack files, so I'll leave that selected. So the installation process is going to begin here, and it'll take a few minutes, and you can monitor the progress bar on this bar here. It'll start turning green in time. So we'll just let that run. So after installing for a few minutes, you can see we now have a breeding management system icon on our desktop. But we also have a warning message saying that MySQL has been started, and if you have a firewall, you have to allow MySQL on your firewall before proceeding. So I'm going to click OK, and this is going to allow for the crop database that I chose to be installed. And here I'm getting a warning notice that the central database for CalPI is already installed, and yes, I do want to replace it. When the installation is complete, you get a notification saying that the breeding management system is finished installing, and you have the option to just go ahead and run the breeding management system by selecting and hitting finish. This is going to launch the breeding management system application. And the first time you start the breeding management system on your computer, it'll probably take a few minutes to get configured. Now that we've successfully installed the breeding management system on our computer, we might be interested in taking a look at the manual or some of the crop-specific tutorials. These are available online and also as a web mirror download so that they can be available without internet access. On the same page where you downloaded the BMS application installer, you can also download the BMS documentation installer, and this will install locally on your computer a mirror of our web-based training materials. Those training materials can also be found from the mega menu under Breeding Management System, Manuals, and Tutorials. This concludes my demonstration of how to download and install the Breeding Management System. Thank you for joining me. Please feel free to explore the resources available from the Integrated Breeding Platform at www.integratedbreeding.net.